As the end of Texas's legislative session draws near and conservative activists see too little of their agenda getting accomplished, I'm reminded that there is good money to be made by Republican strategists in almost winning. That is to say, politicians and their cronies find it advantageous for the grassroots to lose. I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan with a reflection on life and liberty. Let me offer a quick disclaimer here. The activists, lobbyists, and politicians on the left have their own sorts of internal issues and strife, none of which concern me that greatly. In Texas, Democrats and leftists can't advance their priorities or kill conservatives without the explicit permission of Republicans. So my comments today are aimed squarely at the attitudes of conservatives and Republicans. When the political priorities of conservatives die in Texas, it's because Republican lawmakers allowed it and even engineered it every single time. I've spent most of my adult life observing and participating in the operations of the political right. Here's what disgusts me most. In conservative politics, there's really good money to be made in almost solving a problem. Republican strategists and lobbyists make their careers on near wins. Legislators win re-election with the promise of next time. Sure, when all else fails, they might deliver a minor victory or two. Some table scraps will be tossed to the grassroots, but the insiders reserve the substantive efforts for ensuring big paydays for their cronies and themselves. This is why you've been denied, again and again, substantive and lasting property tax relief, but corporate welfare is growing unrestricted. At the risk of offending you, my dear listeners, let me be blunt. This is our fault. We have succumbed to the tyranny of low expectations. Conservative activists have too often adopted a participation trophy mentality when it comes to political engagement. We let the politicians, strategists, and consultants define our expectations and set the measures of success. They preen as experts when they are, in fact, charlatans. We should not be surprised that their standard is a loss, which keeps them employed for another term to fight on an issue that should have already been won. They give us paper-thin excuses and hope we are too busy with our families, businesses, or other interests to realize that they are part of the problem. Frankly, conservatives could be getting this same record of losses for a lot less money. Texas is slouching towards California not because of Californian refugees, but because native-born Texas politicians are cashing big checks without delivering on their promises. Despite complete GOP control of Texas's executive, legislative, and judicial branches for more than 20 years, the state's policy landscape is littered with the refuse of unkept campaign promises. By this point, conservative activists should be making up priorities rather than still waiting for substantive action on the Republican-defining issues of our times. Government is bigger, and the tax burdens are heavier. Lawmakers are already bragging about making some progress on the GOP's 2023 8 priorities. 8 out of thousands of pieces of legislation filed and the hundreds that will pass. Forgive me for not being overwhelmed with amazement and gratitude. And yet, the voters, that would be you and me, keep rewarding this behavior by returning the incumbents and their co-conspirators to office. Until we raise our expectations as citizens, they will continue to serve mediocre results. They will not deliver better until we demand better. If you like today's reflection, be sure to rate it, leave a review, and encourage your friends to listen. This podcast is presented by Texas Scorecard, and today's edition was produced in the 1836 studios. I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan. Thanks for listening.